of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, and he's accompanied by our statesmen, our former African presidents.
Now, in the last 60 plus years, as a student movement, as a fighting force, liberation movement, and as a political party in government, we have identified what we called strategic bottlenecks that block socio-economic transformation in Africa. At one time, we even had a problem with these terms, sustainable development. Our question was, how can you sustainably remain an infant, remain the same organism? That's why we insisted on introducing in another word, socio-economic transformation. Not only development quantitatively, but qualitative jump. This is what happens in nature. A baby is born, grows quantitatively as a baby, a child, but at some stage, he must undergo transformation. When he or she becomes a teenager, certain changes take place in that person. Goes from childhood to teenage and adulthood. This is what happened in Europe. Europe had to undergo socio-economic metamorphosis. So here, when we talk of sustainable development, does it include transformation of the society? If you have a peasant producing another peasant, and you go to the villages, you find 3 generations of peasants, grandfather, father, grandchild, they are all there. This is very dangerous. So therefore, I would really appeal to the thinkers to also emphasize this issue of qualitative jump of the society. Problem number 2, after getting independence, has been a weak state. But the weak state is from, you could call it strategic bottleneck number 3, wrong politics. Politics without a historical mission. The politics of identity. If you say our politics are politics of tribes, of religion, of gender chauvinism, how will you build a capable state? This is the problem we have in some of the countries. Clan armies, sectarian armies. Countries have broken up because of identity. When I went to Sudan, Khartoum, I asked them, I said, what do you call identity in Arabic? They said, Hawiya. And what do you call interests in Arabic? They said, Maslaha. So I said, what is your politics? Is it Maslaha, interests, or identity, Hawiya? So that would be the third bottleneck, the wrong politics. Weak state created by bad politics of identity rather than politics of interest. The other bottleneck has been the export of raw materials. This one is a big disaster. I was meeting an American delegation just now, and I was telling them that please, the new government of Mr. Trump, be clear on this point. When you export unprocessed coffee, as we have been doing all this time, you get about $2.5 a kilo. The price is now a bit higher, but normally it was around $2.5 a kilo of very good coffee. What they call screen 18, the one with good seeds. When somebody goes and makes coffee, powdered coffee out of that, he may get as much as $40. So that's another bottleneck. The relying on raw materials, exporting. You are donating money and donating jobs. When you see these children dying in the Mediterranean, going to Europe, this is the problem. They are being killed by these economies of raw materials. So you can go to every raw material, whether it is agro-based or minerals. Now, sometimes when Africans wake up a bit, they concentrate on import substitution. But that's not good enough because the internal market is not big enough. We must, yes, do import substitution, but also engage in export promotion because the export markets are bigger than the internal market. That's also another area to look at. Now, the other bottleneck are the small economies, the balkanization of Africa into these small markets. Because when people really wake up, you will soon find that the internal market is not enough. In Uganda, when these Ugandans got some stability and woke up, in very short time, they found that everything was in surplus. The internal market was not enough. So that's why the regional market becomes very crucial. I'm very grateful to the East African leaders when they agreed, including people like His Excellency Chikwete, when they agreed that we revive the East African community and expand it. And also all the African leaders, because they have agreed on the CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area of the whole of Africa. It's already signed, but the only problem is implementation. So the forum should look at how we can intensify, because part of the problem of the CFTA is the infrastructure. At one time, we were talking of the railway from Djibouti to Dakar, from Mombasa to Kisangani. But now, I no longer hear about that. So in terms of our sensitization, we should emphasize that the market, the infrastructure to support the market, the human resource. You cannot have the transformation if your people are not educated, they are not healthy, they are not skilled. Here in Uganda, we have been having another bottleneck. This is the big proportion of the population outside the money economy, only working for the stomach, for eating. Because here in Uganda, you don't have to be very, very brilliant to survive. You can survive even if you are not you eat mangoes, you go to your relatives, you spend all the time. Your relatives see you coming. Where are you going? I have come to see you. Imagine. Neja kubareba. Nise kubareba. I have come to see you. The man is not working. He's not working, but he's eating. So now, when we checked by 2019, the people in the money economy were now, for the first time, 61%. The ones who are still outside the money economy were 39%. Now, the army also had started making their own mistakes, so we decided to change and give the money to the people themselves in the parishes, called parish development model. Each parish to get annually some money, which they put in their circle, in their savings and credit or cooperative, and they join the money economy by doing this, doing that. When they checked the other time, they said the figure had now gone to 33%, still outside, 67% in the money economy. So these bottlenecks should be clearly identified. And we had identified, I think there were 10 of them, which we put in the NEPAD. I went to Addis Ababa and I presented them. They are not well organized here. But that list which we took to NEPAD in Addis Ababa should be brought and shown to you so that you can see whether it makes sense. So therefore, when we talk of sustainable development, according to our experience, this is what we have seen. And I have been persuading these Ugandans that these economies can jump. I have told them that they must aim at a 500 billion economy in the next few years. For them, they talk over 2040. I said that's too far. Then I think we can achieve it even faster. An economy the size of 500 billion, Ugandan economy, just by adding value to even the raw materials we are already producing now. And also, building a new economy of, because the economy of Uganda has gone through 5 phases now since we got involved in the government. Number 1, minimum recovery. Number 2, expanding the old colonial economy. Number 3, diversifying. Number 4, value addition. But also, number 5, the knowledge economy. The economy of automobiles, of vaccines, of science, not just simple adding value to the raw materials. So with these few words, I welcome you to Uganda, and I wish you good luck. Thank you very much.
We, of course, acknowledge that more needs to be done. Most of our countries still grapple with the challenges of abject poverty, inequality, youth unemployment, effects of climate change, and conflict, just to mention a few. This is something we should not take lightly, especially now that we are left with only 5 years to achieving the 2030 goals. Therefore, the importance of urgent and transformative action can never be overstated. Your Excellency, we expect that the African Leadership Forum 2025 will serve as a turning point by calling for bold, practical solutions and renewed commitment to accelerating SDG progress across the continent. We look forward to bold, forward-looking solutions and practical evidence-based recommendations that can be implemented across our countries. But more importantly, we anticipate a renewed sense of urgency and commitment from all stakeholders to accelerate the pace of progress on SDGs. The outcome of this forum must go beyond declarations. It must inspire decisive, coordinated, and sustained action that will drive real transformation on the ground. Your Excellency, earlier this morning during my remarks in the morning session, I assured delegates that the discussions over the next 2 days will be held in a spirit of openness and trust. To facilitate this, all deliberations following the plenary will be conducted under the Chatham House rules.
Ensuring that we can build interest, understanding, and will of leadership, and of upcoming leadership, advisors, support teams within governments, etc. You know, for a long time, international organizations have been coming and funding our presidential, secretariats.